Well, if you have any questions or anything, please put them in the chat room rather than the other question area. And that'll help me keep track of what's going on. Room rather than the other. Okay. Hey, Charles, how you doing? Okay. I gotta do one more thing and then put up the chat board. There we go. Pull that over. Val, nice to see you. And so, yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm so glad that Steve is joining us with these Friday free webinars. He brings a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge about trading, all up to the program. So with that, let me not forget to record to the cloud. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilborn. I want to welcome you all to today's session of How to Make Money Trading Stocks weekly live stream. Remember, there are only 6 more trading days till the end of the year. I don't count down till Christmas, but I'm sure most of you guys, and since there's only guys online right now, most of you will be shopping for your significant others this weekend for Christmas and the holidays. Because I know I still need to do all that kind of stuff. And so if you still need to do it, I still need to do it. Hey, we're in good company with each other. Let's get quickly into today's session. Remember, bad habits are easy to form, difficult to get rid of. At all times, be discerning and wary of what you are rehearsing. Because I'm really focusing on, and I shared a book with you, I think last week. It's called Atomic Habits. And did you know that wherever you are in life, regardless of your successes or your failures, it's a result of 3 things. 1, your attitude, your habits, and your beliefs. And the thing that going into the new year, I would like everybody to kind of think about is, if you don't like where you are right now, what attitudes, habits, and beliefs do you need to change between now and the first of the year so you'll put yourself in a better position going into 2020. So just put in a disclaimer that basically we provide this for training purposes. Traders should always paper trade any new method prior to the risk of their own personal capital. And so, gosh, the way I'm looking at, hey, we're going to rally on through the end of the year. That's what it looks like is happening. I've been waiting for a pullback over the last couple of weeks. It has not happened. Now, we picked up some really good stocks if you're a premium member of Active Trend Trading that have worked really well. But that's where we're kind of looking at. And so what's the essence of today's session is just timely, actionable intel. I know Steve's got a really great stock that I want you to take a look at. But we provide this at the end of the week for those seeking clarity and simplification of market decisions so wealth can be multiplied. If your wealth isn't being multiplied, then I encourage you to get and find a system or an opportunity where it will allow you to do that. So a couple of things I want to be taking a look at going into the end of the year is 1, NASDAQ. NASDAQ, typically, we tend to get a rally into the end of the year. So we may or may not get any, bit of a pullback here. We almost may have to go on the NASDAQ, the the Russell and the S&P, go to the intraday charts to find the pullback to trade into the end of the year. Or you wait till next year. There's there's nothing that says you have to be in a position. As a matter of fact, cash is a position. Be aware. The NASDAQ tends to kind of go flat the first 3 months of the year. And then if the seasonality kicks in, then it goes fairly well from April up until about into the end of the year. So keep that in mind. One thing I am keeping in mind for premium members, I'm keeping my eye on gold. Gold seasonality is kind of interesting. It tends to get a bid into the end of the year, but then blast off during January, February. I'm not sure that's going to happen this year, but I'm going to keep my eye open just in case it does. Right now, gold is actually getting beat down a little bit, but it's still in a little uptrend. So we're just looking for a level of support to be able to get into. Here's where we're sitting as of about 9 o'clock this morning, and that's California time. We're up almost 40% for the year. 40% is my target every year. That's what I try to achieve on a regular basis. I like the things we have added to and cut out. We no longer do strategy 3 for our sessions. We're just focusing on strategy 1, strategy 2. And then if you have subscribed, even as a free member to Active Trend Trading, I provide this Power Rank Elite watch list every week. This basically sorts through, and I study over 500 stocks every weekend to come up with this list of these are the highest. This is the list with the highest probability of success based on power ranking. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to jump into something and guaranteed success. But out of this, currently I'm invested in Now, and I'm invested in Paycom, which are doing quite well. With that, let's run over to the market. Let's run over to the charts. There we go. And speaking of Now, so as we see, I'll provide this weekend on my review. I'm going to provide some upside projections based on Fibonacci. So premium members, you're going to be able to get a hold of that so that I can say, hey, here's where we could potentially turn around and reverse back down. But right now, Steve, what I'm seeing with the S&P is it is really respecting the 8-day moving average and not giving us an opportunity to really jump on board. Weekly, it is very overbought. So in anticipation of some kind of a pullback, is reasonable to expect. But right now we're not getting, we basically are just driving a little bit sideways here with support at 319. And then we could potentially punch up further than that. I wouldn't be surprised if we got on up. My wife tells me I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it for you guys. I'm going to throw in a Fibonacci just to take a real quick look at this. I'm throwing a fib from this last high low. And look, that gives us an upside trajectory of about 331, which would be an extension of the up to the 2618. So you may want to just jot that down, 331 for a potential upside target on the SPY. What about the NASDAQ QQQ? Similar type situation. We are getting no candles that are saying, hey, I'm ready to start, fall out of the sky. Yes, we are very well extended. We expect a pullback to the mean, a reversion to the mean, just hasn't happened yet. So after this sell-off a couple of weeks ago, we got the really nice reversal, and this is just powered higher, or in some cases, I think it's more powering higher than melting higher. So again, TSI pushing it back up to the old highs, which is positive. And then one of the things I'll keep my eye on, as you see, last week we had a 3-line cluster on the market forecast. Normally what that means is somewhere between 1 and 4 trading periods after that, we could potentially get a reversal to the downside, even if it's just a pullback. Well, what is 1 to 4 trading periods on a weekly chart? It's 1 to 4 weeks. And as you see, that doesn't mean we can't, even though we've got a potential bearish reversal signal here, it doesn't mean that the stocks, the entity isn't going to push on to higher highs. Again, no reversal action here whatsoever on the weekly chart. And then IWM, representing the Russell. Russell is finally starting to, push on back up to, some of these old highs. We can give a projection based on from the high here to the low here. And I'll just throw in another Fibonacci, and a 100% extension on that. Well, the 1618, we almost hit that. A 100% extension on that actually takes you up to about the 170 level. So watch the 170. Again, nothing to do until I get to pull back into one of my trigger areas, and it ain't happening yet. Now, it doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It just means right now, I am required to be patient. And didn't they say that patience, Steve, as I kick it over to you, don't they say that patience is a virtue?
Absolutely.
And so what did you think of the assessment? I mean, right now, there's really nothing to do until we get some kind of pullback.
I agree completely. I mean, I look at the market to tell me what to do. And it's just powering, continue to grind or power higher. And
yeah,
there's just no opportunity to get on. If you're not on earlier, there's just not an opportunity.
Yeah. And oftentimes the thing to remember going in, especially going in like into next year, oftentimes, and I know you've seen this in your experience, oftentimes the places where you should be looking at getting into the market are the places where you feel the least comfortable.
Absolutely. I completely agree. The best trades are the ones that are hard to do.
And the ones that kind of like make you almost wet yourself.
Right, right. Those almost never work.
So yeah, I use the term wet myself rather than what I would normally say, because my wife told me to clean up my act. And so I hope I'm doing that. So
absolutely.
Hey, okay, what do you want to show us today?
I like Acadia Pharmaceutical. It's actually been a lackluster stock through most of the year. It bottomed in last December, and it started to grind higher, but it wasn't doing much until early September.
Okay.
Had a gap up on non-earnings news, and I need to go back and research this what was behind that move. But I suspect it's something fundamental in the company.
Now, which one are you talking about? This one here, this move here?
Yes. No. That's a daily chart. No, back in September.
Back here.
Right.
Yeah, something good happened right there.
Yeah. And then currently it's made a new high in early December and pulled back to the 50 MA.
Okay.
Had a very ugly red bar to the downside, and then there's no follow through, holding the 50. And I really like today's action.
Okay.
So I think anywhere inside that big red bar would be a good long entry.
Any side ends. Okay. So would you be wanting to enter it now, or would you like to see it closer to the 50?
I would like to see it closer to the 50, but entering now would not be a bad thing.
Okay. Yeah. And I like that. I think I would, if I were going to be looking to trade this one, I would look to probably, as you said, try to pick it up closer to the 50. If I miss that opportunity, and let's say it breaks out above the 20 here, let's wait for it to pull back into the 820 combo.
Right.
And then work it from there. Because I really like that. And the other thing that you've got going for you is just pay attention to this. I'll just draw it now. This is a steep trend line, downtrend line, but be aware of it. Now that's kind of steep, but it's just on the fringe of breaking out.
Correct.
So I really like that particular potential, because it also, your market forecast momentum indicators may pop up, and
then we've pulled back into good support. If you go back to middle of October, that high that was made in mid-October. Draw a line back across to the right, and we've touched that line many times, 4 times, without breaking.
Right here.
Right about there, right about there. Go across.
Yeah, and I'll just share with folks also, when you're drawing in your lines of support, like we're going to do here shortly, is there's a couple of different ways you can do it. One, some people go all the way to the full extension of the move, which is totally accurate. Some people also go to the body of the candlestick to draw
the highest close.
The high, and so there's also good validity in that. Now that's the highest close right there. And as you can see,
we broke out, and then we've pulled. It was resistance, and now we've pulled back to support.
Yep. Now that looks pretty good. And also be aware, and this is what I like about it. This is the one that has earnings coming up on 2/25.
Right.
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
I think for particularly with an options player, you're gonna have some wins behind your sale as we have volatility increase going into earnings, and it'll inflate any long option price that you might have paid for.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm going to be showing an option setup on this for the premium members at the 12 noon session, the final hour that we do every Friday right after this one. So yeah, I like this one, Steve. Hey, I'm going to throw. May I throw out a couple of other ones to keep
Sure, for sure.
And these are from your list. They're not from INMD.
Right.
Still doing its thing. Hasn't, it's trying to form this little pattern here. And so it's still, it's holding the 50, but then it's not really giving us any really great move to the upside. So that's one to keep on your radar.
One comment on that. There was a trade about 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago that we took.
Yeah.
Got stopped out, and I did a re-entry 4 days ago.
For it right there.
No, the bar before.
Right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you got in, if I'm not mistaken, you got in on Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah. But
Awesome.
we had got in, I think, 2 Fridays prior, and then got stopped out.
Yeah.
And then Monday was a re-entry.
And so, I want to project down. So this is a new entity, but look what was going on down here at the lower level. Oftentimes, sometimes you don't get a 3-line clusters, but sometimes you get a 2-line cluster, and that's exactly what we had right there. And so that's a little bit less significant if you're taking a look at the market forecast. And maybe I'll do a webinar at the start of the new year to show how the market forecast works.
But note also that occurred right at the 50 upsloping 50 MA.
Yep. And so when all those clues come together, it's a time to, hey, let's do some action there. This is almost a morning star type of formation here.
Right.
And so, which is very positive right now. Yeah, it's still got to break this downtrend line, but hey, it may find some support here, or it has found support.
Yeah, and with today's action, we likely will pull back. That would be a lovely time to consider a re-entry.
Yeah, so anywhere in there, good indicator. And then the last one I'll throw out, guys, is just Restoration Hardware. I'm continuing to watch this. It's hung up here at 220. I would really like to see it, and I'll be patient.
Yeah, I like the fact that the volume's dried up. It's really, and we're holding the mid-level of that green large wide range up bar about 10 days ago.
Yep, right there.
That's classic support there.
Yep, and so like I said, I'll be looking at going into next week. That has earnings coming up 326, and so again, we're starting to set up our earnings potential trades going into next week.
I love this one a lot.
And so so I'll leave that with you guys. And you can do what you will with it, but again, Steve's providing you some really excellent opportunities to take a look at. So thank you very much, Steve.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate it, and I really, like I said, I really you have brought in just an added some added granularity to what we try to provide on Fridays. And so if you are new to this, and I look through the lines and nobody's really new here, but please turn around and just share this information with your crew, or your team or whatever. Anybody who's interested in just getting some of this good free information. And I'll just show you real quickly. All you got to do is on YouTube, if you subscribe right here and click that, you will get and also there will be a little bell next to it. Also click the bell. There's no cost to subscribe. Click the bell. And what that does for you is basically to let you know whenever anything new is posted, and also when we set up for this live stream webinar. So okay, with that, hey, I'm going to finish up and then we'll call it a day, because I know you guys have to get out and do your Christmas shopping. You know I'm joking about that. So, hey, one of the things I'm going to be introducing, kind of going into this weekend, I've been kind of setting the stage for it, is while the this free membership includes this list, but then the question is, well, what do you do with this list? And that's one of the things that we're going to be providing going into next year. This is a new membership level at the active trend trading system. It's the Power Rank Elite, and it's going to be top 5 plus, and it's going to be a stock picking or a stock, picking opportunity. And there'll be a very small monthly or yearly membership fee on this. But what I'll do is I'll pull out the top 5 out of this list and said, okay, this is where you want to go. And more information coming out on that on Friday. And here is, or not on Friday, but tomorrow, Saturday. And here's an example of our top ranked top 5 from the beginning of the year. Now Team Cyber AVGO. And when we triggered in, what the results were when we triggered out. And what with this particular thing, all I'm going to be doing is sharing, here's the stock, here's where I'm getting in. That's all it's going to be shared. But you'll be able to do either then call your broker and say, hey, I want to buy this stuff. If you choose to parallel with us, it's not a recommendation. You just say, hey, I want to get into now at, and I'll call out the price. And then basically, and if it goes to this place, I want to stop out. Or you put in your own orders. So that's one of the things that's coming. And then last, hey, we're restructuring our membership going into, for our premium sessions going into next year. Save on the premium membership now. Special offer prior to Christmas. I'll go over that just briefly. If you need a speaker, I would love to be able to, provide either a customized meeting and or a meeting via webinar. We have the BAM meeting coming up on January 4th, and we'll be doing 2020 year for breakthrough and prosperity. And then we'll be hitting, Steve and I have been doing now for, gosh, we've been doing it for almost like 3 or 4 months now, the Honolulu IBD meetup meeting. The next one's January 7th. And again, if you know anybody here on Oahu, just say, hey, go find these guys. And they've got really good stock picks. And then invitation only free webinar will be sent out. The invitation will be sent out. We'll do this, the Swing Trading Secrets first week in December, or correction, in 2020. And last but not least, here is the end of year special for active trend trading. And one of the things we've added at the request of our members is we've added in a save another additional 8% by going with the yearly membership. And if you are if you're currently paying this amount here, $124.99 for the yearly, please convert over to this. And as I've said in the past, we never ever raise the rates on people who maintain their existing membership. And I will lay in here. Here is there, I just sent that as a text survey. You can just go there and find out how to get in on that. And so again, this will be in place until at least the 1st of January. The membership rates and the way we're doing our membership next year will be changed. But if you become a premium member now, your rates will never go up. So with that, I think that's just about it, Steve. I want to thank you again for your input today. Looking to finish strong and start strong in 2020. So please keep your egg growing and trade wisely, trade profitably. You can reach me there. There's a Facebook page for active trend trading and a Twitter link there. And for premium members, we'll be doing the final hour, and we'll start that up at the top of the hour. So you have any last and finals there, Steve?
No, not at all. Just best wishes for for Christmas and the New Year.
So, okay. Well, with that, I bid you adieu. Aloha, trade well and prosper. Okay. And have a great shopping weekend. Mahalo. God bless everybody. Thanks, Steve.